fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
Plus, in 2014, the Chilean Navy spotted a similar craft, again in that tic-tac shape, and released this video where they followed it for 9 minutes, eventually catching it spewing out some kind of exhaust plume. The fact that two separate militaries have captured the same type of craft performing the same maneuvers is interesting. The last one is another declassified video from the United States government, this one from the Homeland Security Department. This took place on April 26, 2013 in the town of Aguadilla, Puerto Rico, when radar picked up on a craft that seemed to have come out of the ocean and flew across the island at a high rate of speed. It tracked this object for nearly 4 minutes, recording it on infrared camera, following it as it flew just above the treetops and buildings. It's hard to say if this is another tic-tac, it's too small to tell its shape in this video, though it appears to be slightly elongated. That might just be a video effect though. But perhaps the craziest thing is at the end of the video, you see it skim the top of the water and then slip beneath the waves, never slowing down at all. It's as if it encountered no resistance from the water whatsoever. Even more bizarrely, after resurfacing, it seems to have split into two objects and then fly in formation. Now, if you want to just have fun with this for a second and consider that this is some kind of object with advanced propulsion, you might expect something like a warp drive, which enables faster-than-light travel by bending space-time around it. This might explain why this object is able to pass through air and water at the same speed, because it's not actually interacting with either medium. If, of course, that's really what we're looking at here.
All right. Hi, Daniela.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Paula.
Okay, good. All right. So we are here today to do the investigative session, protocol number 9. And in a little bit, I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and then we will begin. So let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So I will count down from 10 to 1, and then we will begin. So just relax and start taking deep breaths. 10. Feeling very relaxed. 9. 8. Very relaxed. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. Very relaxed. 2. If Feel your whole body relaxed. And 1. So we are at the American base called Area 51 in Nevada. So go ahead and go to the base called Area 51 in the United States and observe from above and describe what you see.
I see it from above, like different buildings, and they're flat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they might go on the ground and the dirt is
Underground?
dry. Yeah, I think they're. I have the feeling that they go on the ground, but the top floor is at the level of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just one floor,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
the weather is kind of dry and it's dusty.
okay. And what colors do you see?
It's just the same color of the
It's all one color?
background, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I'm seeing it in just like browns and dark greens.
Mm-hmm. And how is the entire base structured? Does it look like it has different departments, or is it one big structure, or what do you see?
I think they have like different buildings. From what I see, so far it's just 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know on the back of one of them if there's more.
So from your where
Or
you're
maybe
looking at
they're,
it?
yeah, or maybe they're like 3 exits or 3 entrance.
Mm-hmm.
They might be connected, but what I see from outside,
Okay, so you see 3 different structures?
yeah,
Okay.
they're not high.
Mm-hmm. So you see it like flat, you said, on the top?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And you have the feeling that they go down or underground, you said?
yeah.
Okay.
I, yeah. When you mentioned that, I felt that I was around and I land
Mm-hmm.
on the ground
Mm-hmm.
and I make like a little tunnel.
Okay. So before we head into the structure, tell me where everything is located. If you can go into more detail looking at it from above, if you can describe, like where the different buildings or structures are, how they're positioned.
I can get closer. I'm just watching it from far. They
Mm-hmm.
have like a fence,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know why I can get out. I can get
So,
closer.
so go above. Go above.
Yes, I see that from above, but I'm not close.
Right.
I see like if it's like a picture of a aerial picture.
Got you. Right. Yeah. So get closer. Get as close as you can.
I'm just close. This can pass it, and I feel like a pressure in my head.
Mm-hmm. Notice around you, does it feel like there's something prohibiting you from passing,
Yeah,
or
from
what
what I
changed?
from what I see is like a chain fence,
Mm-hmm.
and but there's something else because when I get closer, I get a heat in my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Like is this something electric maybe, or
And the fence, you see this from the top?
no? When I get to a ground level.
Oh, okay, got you. So see if you can get above ground level, but just on top of the building so that you can see it from the top. Can you do that?
Can you repeat that? Was
Uh-huh. So you said you're ground level. If you can just elevate yourself a little bit more and go right above the building. So just like if you're hovering right above the building.
okay.
Okay, so what do you see? How, if you can just go into a little bit more detail of how the buildings, where they're located. You said there's three, so how, if you can just go
There's
into detail.
um there's a dirt road and parking lot. Park. Yeah, I think there's a parking
Mm-hmm.
space. And they're not connected. The buildings are not connected from what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm. And you still see three?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Something small there.
Okay, good. So what kind of vehicles are used to move within the base?
I see like a there's different ones.
Mm-hmm. So describe to me all the ones that there are.
There's a one kind of like a military with no roof, no windows. It's just like a
Mm-hmm.
jeep, the old style.
Mm-hmm.
And other ones are black cars, very long. Uh, and like a band, but it's not a band. It's big. Maybe they have. Um,
Like a van,
yeah, but it's bigger,
like an SUV or
bigger.
bigger than a van and an SUV? Okay.
Yeah, and it's all dark. Like you cannot see the window inside.
Mm-hmm. When you say bigger,
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
do you mean that you said it's bigger than a van? Is it longer?
Yeah, and it has a tall
Oh, okay, okay.
roof. Like they have like an extra.
Is it kind of like in like those buses, kind of like a bus?
Yeah, yeah, but no big, not that big.
Okay,
But it's
gotcha.
like a. I don't want to say RV, but
Right, that's what came to mind, something like that. Like
yeah,
the buses where that people take on the road
yeah.
when they have road trips. Okay, and what else? Do you see any other kind of vehicles that they use to move within the base?
I see.
Inside the base, do they use anything to move inside?
Yeah, some some sort of little vehicle like golf cart, but for indoors.
Okay. So tell me more about that. See yourself in there and see how they use it and where it goes. Do they use it inside?
Yeah, there's two types. The one that indoors and the other ones are outdoors.
Mm-hmm. So the one that is indoor, what do they use that for?
To move from one place to another one. They
Mm-hmm.
have long corridors
Mm-hmm.
and very clean.
Mm-hmm.
And
How long are the corridors? Are they very long? How long do they extend?
oh, it's big, like some kilometers long. He
Mm-hmm.
goes he goes beyond the buildings,
Okay.
and
So
there's
you
elevators.
so you can't see it from the outside, but
Yeah,
it
you
goes
cannot.
longer.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you cannot see it.
would you say that it goes underground?
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
very very big.
Mm-hmm. They extend very, very long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where do they lead? Follow one of those little carts and go through the corridor and see where it leads. Where do these tunnels lead or corridors?
There's different rooms. Oh,
Can you describe that? How it looks?
mm, from where I am, and
Mm-hmm. If you're
they
there. Mm-hmm.
they have lots of doors, lots of rooms, and they have thick doors. They're not normal doors.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, some don't have windows. Some they do have windows.
What are the colors that you see on the floor and the walls and everything?
The floors are white.
Mm-hmm.
The walls are kind of like ochre.
Like what?
Um, dark. Mm, it's like a beige but dark.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the doors?
They're different places, I think. There's different colors. And the doors are metal. They're very thick.
Mm-hmm.
And I see people coming and go. I think there's an area that is empty, like they used to have more stuff, but now there's empty.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. How can you tell? What does it feel like?
It's like there used to be more people
Mm-hmm.
working there, and now just they're taking just one area.
Okay, so the next question is to make if you can make a classification based on the operation of the base departments. So if you can just focus on all the different departments that there was or that there are and kind of classify them. What do you get?
I see some people with some type of lab coats.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing they have some sort of labs. I
Mm-hmm.
still can move from that corridor. And at the beginning, I got a glimpse of another building that it was more like normal building, like old style wood, and it has chairs and it's kind of like a place where they meet people
Mm-hmm.
and maybe kind of like an office.
Mm-hmm. Like a
But it's
conference
a
room or like a meeting room?
yeah, but it's not big or it's more normal
Mm-hmm.
wood The floors are wood. And ceramic. Something
Mm-hmm.
like that. Just a more normal.
Mm-hmm.
There's a flag.
A flag?
Yeah.
Describe that to me.
The United States.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, okay, so find the department that directs the entire structure. And when you get there, describe the interior.
I'm seeing now a very modern place.
Mm-hmm. Different than where you were just at?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it has very like technology.
Is
And
it in the same building or the same?
it's not in that normal building. Like the
Mm-hmm.
wood one is not there, somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Is it
Maybe
underground
it's
or
not.
above?
Yeah, yeah, it's underground. Maybe it's not even in those visible ones.
Uh-huh.
And it has like cameras, and it remind me to like what's it called when like like the spaceship with when you're in when they are like um,
What is it?
directing something and
Mm-hmm.
with some screens with directions and monitors and
So like they're looking at something?
yeah,
Are
I
there
think
screens?
yes, there's lots of screens
Mm-hmm.
and monitor of something,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's the people who are directing the places instead of the other ones that they're outside on the surface.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, okay, so then that was the next question. Who works inside the base? And what roles do they have?
Different. Um,
So go to a day that they are doing something important and notice one of the most important people that work there and describe what they're doing. And notice what's going on in the screens and who else is in the room.
I, I have the feeling that they think that they're not doing anything important
Mm-hmm.
right now.
What makes you think that?
One of one of them were thinking that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so notice what they're actually doing. What are they doing? What do they do with the screens? What do they do with?
Just just checking and monitoring
Mm-hmm.
things, and you say small things. We
Like if
don't
they're
do anything now.
mm-hmm. Like if they're running the base, like just
Yeah.
basic things that to run the base.
No, no. Basic things for them. They're nothing. It's like checking on patients, kind of like, but nothing. They're not doing something like a surgery or something like that. It's just checking on how these work or how
Mm-hmm.
research
Okay.
and the ones who are in the old building, the wood one,
Mm-hmm.
they're just like a facade or some sort of. They're not doing much. They're just there in the
Like
office.
uh-huh.
They don't get down.
Mm-hmm. Do they know what's going on in the other part?
Yeah, I think they know, but they don't know everything. They don't care.
Mm-hmm. So still talking about the that department where the main structure is, or where they're directing things. Notice if there's any scientist there, or what other
Yeah,
roles.
yeah, they're all in that area. They're all like research.
They're all research and scientists,
Yeah,
research based. Okay. Do any of them live inside the base?
yeah,
Who lives there?
almost everyone except the ones who works in the other building.
Okay.
They go to like a little town there.
Mm-hmm. And
But
those
the
other.
other ones don't go home. They don't have
Mhm.
homes.
What are who are they? What they're just people that they hire to to work there, or what?
Uh, no, that they're researching. They're specialists,
Mm-hmm.
and they live there. That's their purpose.
Mm-hmm. And the ones that leave,
Yeah,
what are their roles?
let's just keep things smooth and
Daniela, can you
they're
put the
just
microphone closer to your mouth? I think you moved the microphone. Yeah. Okay. How do you feel?
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, are there any famous scientists who work at the base or that have worked in the past in that base?
Yes.
What
But
comes
now
to?
it's run down. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the one that's mm, this guy who's to physics.
A physicist?
Yeah,
Okay. What name
I
comes to
have
mind?
his face in my head.
Mhm.
Uh,
So,
yeah,
see if
but
see.
he's not there anymore.
Okay. See if you can get his name.
Oh, I know him. It's Kaku,
What is it?
Mikio Kaku.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think this place is more like a sample. Lots of people can come if they're in that level of science.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so close.
Okay. And why? What is it that they're actually doing there?
They're playing with samples.
With samples?
Yeah, samples, genetics.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna get to that part and we'll go deeper. But for right now, are there any wards for experiments? So is there any area that's designated to do experiments?
Yeah, the whole thing
Okay.
is like a huge lab.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what kind of experiments are carried out?
Let's see, they play with growing stuff, growing cells, mix, and
So they're so genetics and
yeah,
okay. Can you notice if they're using human genetics and human DNA, or if it's non-terrestrial?
I think there's some not terrestrial or all terrestrial, like other species that they might live, and they take samples, and they have this growing thing that I see is like a piece of skin growing that is kind of like a lizard skin, and they do stuff like that.
Where did they get this lizard skin?
They offer samples. I think some type of creature gives samples, and they use it to grow and see if they can make it stronger or how much they can tolerate.
So they're experimenting on different creatures.
Yeah.
Are they like terrestrial animals and creatures or non-terrestrial?
Yeah, they're not animals like we know.
So where did those come from?
Yeah, I hear them talking. They say they're from Earth, but they're not.
But they're not?
No, I know they're not. But they say they're from Earth. Like if they're here somewhere, and
So they notice that you're observing them.
yeah,
Okay.
that when you ask a question, they answer me.
So if they're from Earth, what part of Earth are they from? Or what age?
I think there's some places where there's other the type of beings, and they volunteer. But I have the feeling that this is the smallest space that I can check. I'm stuck here. I can't.
We're not stuck here. You feel like there's more?
Yeah, and they're being nice to me, explaining me things, and I'm not seeing the whole thing.
Yeah.
I have the
So
feeling that, or it used to be a bigger thing, and now it's run down, or I'm just seeing a small place.
okay, so disconnect from those scientists that you're connecting with
Yeah.
and see if there's another area that where they're carrying out other kinds of experiments. If there is any. If not, then that's okay.
Okay. Now I'm going downstairs, and
What made you go downstairs?
there's no top floor, and
So the only way out is down?
yeah, and this guy Michael was telling me don't to go, no need to go there.
Oh, okay. So put a shield around you so they don't see you anymore. Because I want you to get the information based on what you see and not what they're giving you.
Okay, I put a shield on me, and I hear some like red. I can hear the kind of like an alarm, fire alarm. Just Like they know I'm there.
Right. So it
I
set
have
off
to.
an alarm.
Yeah.
All right. So keep going. It's okay. Just tune it out. Tune it out because they can't see you. So tell me if you see anything else. Any other area that they're doing experiments.
Um, I'm in another corridor, really downstairs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a little bit darker. I
So,
cannot see the floor.
mm-hmm. All right. So this is, I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and you're just going to find yourself in a flash in the place where you need to be. We're going to go in and out. I don't want you walking around there. Okay.
Okay.
So from 3 to 1, and you're going to find that other area where they're doing experiments. 3, 2, 1, and find yourself there.
Okay. I pass up. Yeah, I appear the other side of that door.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a huge corridor, and this part is like abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
But there I can hear. mm, I can hear there's people
Mm-hmm.
like I think they're humans.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so see if you can get a little closer and tell me what you see. And also see if there's non-terrestrial equipment anywhere.
Mm.
Any equipment, computers, machines, anything like that.
No, where I am now is there's like separate rooms and there's people. They, some don't have clothes on, like really. I don't know. The color skin is different.
Okay, so
It's
they're
like
mhm.
gray, white gray, very.
So they're in a different, you're looking at them in a room, they're in a room, and you're looking at them from outside?
I'm in the room.
You're in the room, okay. And so describe the interior of the room.
No windows.
Mm-hmm.
It's cold. It's dark.
It's
And
dark? Is there any light?
there's no lining, but there's kind of like uh, soft light coming. I don't know from where,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no lamps. There's no
Mm-hmm.
kind of creepy.
Okay, and disconnect yourself from that feeling. Shield yourself and just observe. Is there any furniture in the room or anything else?
Yeah, they they have beds and they have a
How
sink,
many how many beds?
2 beds.
And there's one person?
No, there's 4, but the doors these doors are open. This area seems like they can move around.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. And so they're not like, are they restricted in one area, or
Yeah,
they're free to walk around
walk around in that little area.
in that
They
area?
have maybe 8, maybe 10 rooms.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I want you to focus on one of the people that you were looking at and tell me what they look like. Do they have hair? How tall they are, and what else you notice?
They they're very thin. Their skin is white, but it's like sick white.
Mm-hmm. You said that it was kind of like gray.
Yeah. I don't think they ever see the sun.
Mm-hmm. Approximately how old?
30. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the male that I'm seeing is old. He's
Okay.
30,
Mm-hmm.
and their eyes are his eyes are different.
How?
Yes.
Describe the eyes.
He has the pupils are different.
What shape?
Mm,
Like slits?
vertical, and the pupil is kind of like reddish.
Okay. What about the
Not
nose?
much hair. The hair is very thin and almost no hair.
Uh-huh.
Straight hair, short hair. Uh, the
Mm-hmm.
nose is small, flat, small,
Flat and small?
flat, small, and yeah, kind of, and it has this skinnish.
Like thinner, the chin, it gets thinner around the jaw
Yeah,
area?
yeah, and no much flesh. It's very thin.
Very thin. And what about the mouth?
He has lips.
Mm-hmm. Does he feel aggressive or scared or anything? Like what feeling do you get?
He's feeling curious about me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay, so just kind of try, you know, get a feel of what it is that they're doing to him. What is he there for? What kind of experiments are carried out with him or with them?
mm, something that failed.
It's a failed experiment
Yeah.
and they're kind of just letting them live
He,
now.
yeah, he feels he's a fail.
Hmm. Why? What was he? What were they doing with him? What was the experiment?
Just mix, mm, getting to have more stronger people. Just
Okay.
playing with genes.
Hmm. And so they're keeping them, when
Yeah,
even when they don't get what they want.
yeah.
And
Yeah, they still doing something, but not very often because they they think that they're not good.
hmm. So these are kind of experiments that they were carried out in the past. You don't get the feeling that they're still doing that now.
No.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So leave that area, and I want you to see if you can find non-terrestrial equipment.
I see a lot of machines. I'm back into that room where they have all the monitors
Hmm.
and all the um, screens, and they have one that is it's like a circle on the ground.
Hmm. And it feels like it's non-terrestrial.
I don't know. I don't know anything of these machines.
Hmm. Okay, so focus on that one, right? And Notice if it feels like it was made here on Earth, or if it's coming from somewhere else that's not Earth.
It vibrates. It's this metal circle on the ground. It just vibrates and do something, like something is dancing
Mm-hmm. It's
when I turn
vibrating.
it on, and I think it's from Earth. Sorry.
Okay, so
But maybe they took some idea from the
okay.
people with the
Mhm.
slide people.
Okay, so keep noticing that one, or notice all the equipment in the room. Is that the one that calls your attention that might not be from here? Or does it kind of gives you the impression that the technology is not from here?
Yeah, I never see something like that.
Mm-hmm. So describe it to me. What does it look like? Does it make any sound? Are there any lights or anything?
Yeah, the light come from the circle, but there's no lights, and it has like when it start vibrating, something starts to jump like I think it's sand particles, but it could be all the type of small little tiny things.
Mm-hmm. So when it starts vibrating, there's particles that also move?
Yeah,
And then what happens?
there's steam coming from
Mm-hmm.
those particles.
Mm-hmm. And what do they use that for?
I don't know, something regenerator.
Try to go to a time where it's being used and trace, see what's happening. See where that energy goes or what they're regenerating.
I think it forms, like it make a form of something. Like if you leave it on long long enough, it will form somebody or something. Like the steam is shaping, and those particles are getting together to make a form, a shape.
Mm-hmm. What shape do they make?
Something with long arms.
What does it look like? Does it look like it's made of matter, or is it like transparent, or
I'm
it's in the
I'm
shape of steam, or what?
I'm gonna. Yeah, I think it takes different stages. I'm seeing that this is taking form like a sand, jello, and light coming from the back now.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't look like a person. It's something else, but I cannot see the face.
But it's in the shape of a person?
Shape of something that has legs and long arms, thin arms.
Mm-hmm.
The torso is different, very thin.
So notice what this is used for. Fast forward in time and see what they use it for when it's done.
I think they're making somebody. They're making. They're making a creature.
And what's the material that they're making it out of? What chemicals and what matter? Or how does it work if it's not that?
I don't know. It looks like jelly and glue and a plasticky thing and
Mm-hmm.
with those particles.
Okay, and notice at the end, what do they do with this thing?
They put it in a table.
Mm-hmm.
They take them to another place. I don't know if he has conscience or it's just
Mm-hmm.
or it's just
Right.
dead or something. But he's
Mm-hmm.
in a table.
Mm-hmm. And
I
what
don't
are they?
know. I don't know if it's a he or she. I just
Does it have skin at that point? Or is it still like
it's a little darker, but
Mm.
it's not skin. It's not human skin.
Mm-hmm. And what do they use that for?
Let's just take him to another room where they have others.
Others that look like him?
Yeah,
And what are they doing with all of these things?
they're they're making more.
They're just making a bunch of these things?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
what?
I don't know. I don't know. I cannot see past that. They're all like that on beds, on tables,
Mm-hmm.
like empties.
Are they making noises or
No, they're not moving.
they're not moving?
No.
All right, so fast forward and see what they use them for. What are they making this for?
It comes to me that they're empty vessels.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then what do they use them for? What's going on? What are you feeling?
My hands are burning.
Mm-hmm. Why?
I don't know.
Okay. Notice what's going on. Why are your hands burning?
I think I'm touching one.
Mm-hmm. And it feels very hot?
No, he feels very cold. I think they're empty.
Okay, they're empty. So fast forward and see what they're used for. What are they using them for?
I think they put somebody inside or something like that, because I can feel like I'm going inside.
Don't go inside, Daniela. Do not go inside. Do not step away, please. And disconnect from that. Okay? Now I want you to step back, all the way back, all the way back. And I want you to observe a time when one of these is being used. And tell me exactly what you see. And who is doing that? If it's another person or a machine or what?
No, I just see a girl, a little girl. I don't know what that means.
And what happens next?
She's like 5 years old or something,
And
and it's next to this jelly bee, like, and
Is there anyone else around? How did she get there?
yeah, there's 3 more people there. They
Who
brought her.
who are they? Are they scientists or are they?
Yeah, they.
And what are they doing? Is this an experiment?
I think they're playing with some type of consciousness. Maybe that's something that's about
So are they trying to put
connecting that thing to the girl's consciousness, and they're making them connected.
And does it work?
Sometimes.
So what happens? Do they connect the girl's consciousness to, they put it inside this vessel?
Yeah.
And then what happens?
But the girl goes back, I think, but she has a connection with this.
So she can go in and out of this thing?
Yeah.
And what's the purpose of this? Is it just an experiment to see if it works? Or are they actually using it for something?
I think she has the feeling of a friend, of a, like a guardian angel or something, and this thing is getting all the mental connection with her, like storage.
Does she realize what's going on, or
No.
no? Notice if she's in that room physically or if she's in another room, and that's just her consciousness.
I can't. I think she's there, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, so let's move on a little bit and notice if there's any machines or computers anywhere in that base that is not from our times, that is at the forefront of our times.
What do you mean?
So notice if there are any machines or computers that are at the forefront of our times. See what comes.
Forefront, that means forward.
What comes to mind when I say that?
I think the whole area where I am. It's very much organic. Mm, doesn't feel normal to me. So the place where I am is it's not like you can say a machine. It's the whole thing where they keep this.
Does it feel like it's very high technology?
Yeah, it's like a novel but horizontal, and it's like I couldn't say that it's alive, this little part, but you like a breathe. You breathe.
So like if the machine has, like it has its own consciousness,
Yeah.
or no?
Yeah, like smart.
Right.
Smart houses, but this one it has even a pulse and a breathing.
Okay. And notice if it was built here on Earth, and if not, where was it built?
I think it was here.
So, and notice where the technology came from. If it's here, from these scientists that put it together, or if it came from somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm outside now.
Okay. So where does this come from?
I'm ejecting from Earth,
And
I'm going through 1, 2, 3 different like flashes, like from where I am right now. I cannot see Earth.
What do you see?
Space and a planet, or I don't know if it's a planet. It's just I think it could be a planet or something.
Okay. So what do they call it? I go back to the base and see if you can pick up what they call it. What do they call this planet or this place?
It's one part of Orion.
Orion. Okay.
It's just one part of Orion.
Okay. All right. Very good. Now, I want you to notice if there are similar bases in the U.S. or in any other part of the world that are similar to Area 51. Anywhere in the world, if there's any similar bases. And if so, where are they?
There's one in Egypt. Russia. It has a few. And I think they're more active.
They're more active than the one in the U.S.?
Yeah, I think the US one is run down.
Are they working with the base in the U.S. or these are separate?
They're separate, but sometimes they collaborate.
Okay. Okay, good. So let's go back in time and let's go to the period when Area 51 was built. When was it built?
I think in the 50s or 1950s, 1960s, early 60s.
Mm-hmm. Who wanted to build it?
I don't know.
Okay. Who was it built for? Or why was it built?
To keep people separated from the work research.
What kind of
To
research?
isolate them.
Mm-hmm.
The same research they're doing now, but it was new and it was more exciting.
Mm-hmm. What kind of research was it when they started? What were they trying to do?
They were just connecting with different species, and they need a neutral place.
Uh-huh. And how did they connect with these species? Were they from Earth or no?
Some and some not.
Uh-huh. So the ones that were not, how did they get in touch with those?
They will just appear. They came to make contact.
Okay. Notice when that happened. And tell me what you see.
I see. It's kind of like a meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and there's different types of people and creatures, and they're all happy to meet each other.
How did they get here?
To decide to come.
Okay. So conspiracy theories say that as a result of the Roswell incident, the remains of alien aircraft were brought into Area 51. What do you see about that?
That's like the museum.
What do you mean?
It's like that's like it's the the fake part of the
Mm-hmm.
base.
Okay, so you
The
don't see that as something real that happened?
no,
Mm-hmm.
I think they just sacrifice somebody to make contact and to make the introduction.
You're seeing them sacrifice a human?
No, sacrifice their own kind.
Oh, sacrifice their own kind. Them, not
Yeah,
humans?
yeah.
So how did they do that?
Just send them
Mm-hmm.
without protection.
Mm-hmm. So that they would find them here?
Yeah.
So did he come in a aircraft or how did he get here? Or how did it get here?
Hmm. Yeah, aircraft. But it was kind of like the basic ones and kind of like all kind of like fake.
Okay, it looked like a fake. I mean, was it a fake?
It's not the real reason what happened there. Like it was just a time for contact.
Uh-huh. So you think they planned that out the way that that happened?
Yeah.
Okay. To make contact. Okay, good. Now observe the whole base on the energetic level. What is different about... You scared me. You okay?
Yeah.
What happened?
I just feel. Yeah, when I went up.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't expecting that either.
So what happened?
No.
Where were you and what happened?
I went up and to see the. I saw like a map and I saw like lines, like orange and yellow lines, and I felt this kind of like shock.
And where did that come from?
I think from observing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, all right, so let's go back. Observe the whole base on the energetic level. Okay, and then what is different about the material plane comparing it to the energetic level? Do you see anything different?
Well, the lines that I was seeing, it was bigger. It was bigger.
When you say lines, what do you mean lines?
The when I'm looking for map,
Mm-hmm.
I see the yellow and orange. They're like lines, but they're like electricity or maybe energy,
Okay.
and they're bigger than what I see from the buildings and what
Mm-hmm.
I am estimate underneath is bigger. The lines are bigger.
Mm-hmm. And it's just in this area that they look this way. If you look around the whole area, the whole Nevada,
Oh.
does it look bigger above the base, or this is just how that whole area looks?
It doesn't go to population place.
Mm-hmm. So it's
It's
only by the
around,
base.
yeah, but it's bigger than the chain fence.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and just if you can notice where it's coming from, is it coming from the earth or?
Yeah, from underneath.
Okay. Okay, good. What's going on?
I don't want to see it again.
You don't want to see what?
I don't want to see that again.
What was it that startled you? The energy?
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a, yeah, their lines kind of like a bigger fence.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here is the last question. And so an invasion of Area 51 by many citizens was organized for September 20th. And this was by an American boy that organized this. And he did it as a joke. But the growing interest of over 1 million people has seen the U.S. government forced to take action, and it was canceled. What do you feel about that event? Do you get
People
anything
are
about that?
curious. No, people are curious. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It's
Okay.
almost empty anyway.
Mm-hmm. So there's really nothing to see there now?
Just the, yeah, just some parts that I'm not sure if they're gonna get to see. And it's run down.
Right. Okay. So what you saw that is left in there is just old
Yeah.
humans or
People
experiments
still
or
working there, but there's nothing big.
mm-hmm. Okay. Alrighty. So that concludes this one. So I want you to start disconnecting yourself from that place completely. And I want you to start getting ready to come back to the present time in your room. And I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and you're going to be back feeling wonderful all over. 3, waking up now, coming back into the room. 2, disconnecting completely from everything and everyone. 1, find yourself fully back into the room. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm okay.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay.
All right.